Have you ever looked up at the night sky and noticed how the moon never looks quite the same? Sometimes it's a thin crescent. Other times it's full and glowing, like a bright lantern hanging in the sky. But once in a while, you might hear someone mention a blue moon. No, the moon doesn't actually turn blue, but there's an interesting story behind that name, and it might surprise you. Let's explore what it really means. Today, we say once in a blue moon to talk about something that happens very rarely. Like, he only studies once in a blue moon, or, yeah, they post a video once in a blue moon. But it didn't always mean that. Way back in the 1500s, blue moon was used to describe something impossible or just plain ridiculous. Kind of like saying, yeah, right, and pigs can fly. A famous man named Cardinal Wolsey once said about his critics, "They would have you believe the moon is blue," meaning they were lying or joking. But by the 1800s, the phrase started to change. People began using it to describe rare events instead of silly ones. And in 1871, a book actually used the modern version when a character said they eat a fruit pastry once in a blue moon. Okay, so what is a blue moon? There are two ways to explain it. The first one comes from an old farming calendar in Maine. Normally, we get 12 full moons in a year, 3 in each season. But sometimes we get 13. That extra one? It's called the blue moon. It's like a bonus moon that doesn't have a name, so they just called it blue. The second explanation is more popular, even though it started as a mistake. In 1946, a magazine called Sky and Telescope messed up. They said a blue moon happens when there are 2 full moons in 1 month. That wasn't the original meaning, but people liked it, and it stuck. So today, most of us think a blue moon means the second full moon in a month. So how often do we see a blue moon? It's not super rare, but not common either. NASA says we get one about every 2.5 years. It depends on how the full moons fall in the calendar. But there's one month that can't have a blue moon: February. Why? Because it's too short. Only 28 days, so there's no room for 2 full moons. Now you might wonder, does the moon ever actually look blue? Well, yes, but that's a totally different thing. The moon can appear blue if there are special conditions in the air, like during big volcanic eruptions or wildfires. When the air is filled with just the right-sized particles, they can change the way we see light, and the moon might look bluish. One famous example was in 1883, after a volcano called Krakatoa erupted. People around the world saw blue, and even green moons for years. So now you know, a blue moon is just a name for an extra full moon, either the second one in a month or an extra one in a season. It doesn't look blue most of the time, but the name stuck. And next time someone says once in a blue moon, you'll know exactly what it means and where it came from.